Hi, Pia.
Hi.
Um, I've been dying, dying to voice note you and talk about this episode.
I know it's
Prior,
really hard.
prior to prior to us like doing this regularly, we would just voice note all the time. So it's hard not to like do that on the daily and
Yeah.
save it up like all week long. Before we get into the episode, though, I need to talk about this ridiculous Lisa Rinna, Kathy Hilton gossip leak, whatever. Okay, so
Okay.
if you don't know what's going on, listeners, okay, so less than a week ago, Lisa Rinna posted in her stories, she leaked a screenshot of a text message she received. And the text message was something like, you stop spreading lies and rumors about me or I'll expose you. And she posted it with the full phone number, basically doxing that number. And then that person retaliated. His name is Patrick Sommers. At least that's what we think. And he's like a 20-something-year-old kid, and it was very confusing as to why she would even go after this guy and why he would even like be involved. And he claimed that it was because he was working on a spinoff called The Real Husbands of Sunset, which did not track to me ever because no other network would be able to do a spinoff called Real Husbands of Sunset and have it not be a copyright issue. Like Bravo would sue the hell out of them. So Bravo would not be doing that. They wouldn't be doing anything like that. Plus, this kid was too young to be a husband of
Yeah.
none of it really made sense. So one of my followers caught it right away. One of my followers was like, this just seems like a major publicity stunt. And cut to now. He was like in his stories posting her phone number, saying, you better take this down. I'm going to sue you. And so it was a little bit of drama, but what did it do? It gave Lisa a ton of PR. She was a talking point. I think she was probably trending on Twitter. Who knows? Now, there's an account called Your Moms Are Watching.
Yeah, I was just listening to a different account talk about your mom is watching. And yeah, I was listening to another Bravo account on TikTok talking about
What's the Bravo account?
the other Bravo account that I was looking at on TikTok. It's called Chronicles of Bravo.
Okay.
Decent following, but they were talking about your mom is watching. They were talking about that and the realty. So I'm gonna let you lead that.
Okay. Interesting. We'll circle back to that. Okay, so they posted, I have tea. I just DM'd with Patrick Sommers, the kid that sent Rinna a text last weekend threatening her. Rinna then posted the text and the kid posted Rinna's number and it became a big thing. Well, he just admitted to me, Kathy Hilton paid him to do this. I'll post the DMs on the next slide. Turns out he made everything up just to divert focus from the fact that Lisa was calling out Kathy for the slurs she made in Aspen.
Yeah.
And then the screenshots are from the DMs. And essentially, this guy admits that, he doesn't straight up admit. She basically says, so who asked you to do this? Does it rhyme with Milton? He says, yes, but I signed an NDA. I can't admit it. But it was it was an attack against Rinna. I've never even met her. I'm in marketing and this is what I do. And I call bullshit because number one, if you have been hired by Kathy Hilton, taken her money, signed an NDA, less than a week later, you are not publicly announcing. Well, first of all, this announcement, he hadn't made an announcement yet. This is just in DM. So let's live in this world. Let's live in this moment. You're not DMing, which is then in writing so someone can screenshot it.
Yeah.
You are not DMing a random Bravo account that you did in fact get contracted to take down Rinna in a total scam operation.
Yeah.
Because Kathy Hilton will sue you.
Yeah, and she has so many she would bury you.
You.
And apparently the number of the sum in which he was allegedly paid is like not that much. Like you wouldn't even be able to get a lawyer for an hour to be able to go against her lawyers. Like I think that he's claiming he was paid $27,000, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot.
Okay, so hold on. After these DMs are leaked, okay, like it's everywhere. It spreads like wildfire. I do not believe it immediately. Immediately, I'm like, this does not track. Then he makes a public statement.
Oh.
A formal public statement with tons of spelling errors and grammatical errors that Lisa posts on her feed saying, get ready. Hi, I'm Patrick Sommers, a private marketing manager for some of the biggest celebrities in the world.
Okay.
All right. Right there, you guys.
That sounds fake.
No private marketing manager for no one who really works with huge celebrities admits it like that. Like you stay confidential because that's what makes you good at this.
Yeah, it's like usually through reference. Like you wouldn't approach. It would always through reference you get your new clients.
And this guy's full name like you don't put your first and last name. He'll never work again if this is what he's doing. My latest assignment was executed against Lisa Rinna, as I never reveal a client's personal information per my NDA agreement. My latest marketing campaign was to draw attention away from my client. That's exactly what I did. All narratives associated with my latest campaign are false. Mind you, he was talking about how he was going to talk about the husband, talking about Harry Hamlin. Okay. I was compensated $27,527.72 for my work.
That's really that's a really specific number. Like the change. Why did the change really throws me.
Who negotiates for change?
Round that up. Why didn't we round that up?
Whoever says I would like my fee is, I'm going to start charging that for my signings. My fee is $251.28. That is
so fucking random.
It doesn't work. So then he says all media outlets and tabloids were planted by me. There is no lawsuit, no new reality show. And frankly, I've never met Lisa Rinna. I hope you can understand, as this is my line of work and simply nothing personal. Signed, Patrick Sommers.
That doesn't even make any sense. So okay. So what is your line of work? So your line of work is to plant stories. Get it. There are plenty of people who do that. Publicists and all that stuff do that all the time. That's not surprising to me. No one, even if you are caught red-handed, no one ever admits to planting stories. It's the stupidest thing to admit to.
It's career suicide.
So easily you're giving up your client and making it very obvious who your client is. That makes no sense. Why would anybody else ever want to work with you? You're not loyal. You're not confidential. I'm confused. This doesn't make any sense.
So mind you, they were all at the MTV Awards last night together.
Right.
And then he posts later in his stories, isn't it a coincidence I'm being forced to provide this statement while the MTV Awards are taking place? Mind you, all the RHOBH cast members are sitting at a table together. And then he keeps going. It's very boring, but now Page Six has picked it up, which I know Lisa Rinna is like, she's got Page Six on speed dial. But people are really trying to make this like Kathy Hilton would not pay someone and less than a week later they would break their NDA.
Yeah, I feel like that thing would be ironclad because the thing is, it's not that I don't believe Kathy Hilton said some off-color shit. Yeah. I know that they've done that in the past, like Paris, Nikki, her kids had said like slurs before, and they've I believe, I don't even know if you can find it anymore on the internet. I think they've gotten
It's been scrubbed.
It's been scrubbed. So for me, for someone to be able to scrub things off the internet, which is extremely difficult, I think that they would like probably do their due diligence in finding someone who wouldn't open their mouth so quickly. And also they probably would pay them way more than $27,000 to keep that quiet.
And 72 cents.
And 72, thank you. 72 cents. Right. That's 72 cents.
Yeah. This is the only person benefiting from this statement is Lisa Rinna.
I mean, it screams of Lisa Rinna. It's like when she was saying that Harry Hamlin texted Sutton. Like, that was you.
Yeah.
Like, she like weird. We know it's you. It's always you, Rinna. Like, come on.
Remember when the puppy gate was going on and Dorit said something like, I can't remember if someone told her this, but Dorit said something like, I think it might have been LVP that told her always trace back to who benefit. Oh, no, it was. Oh, my God. I remember. It was Elliot Minsk told someone. I think it maybe was Rinna. No, Taylor Armstrong. Okay. I'm remembering
what is happening.
Okay. Back when Taylor Armstrong had something in the press about her not eating and thought that it was LVP that leaked it.
Uh-huh.
Elliot Minsk said something to Taylor that was like all weird, but he was like, always figure out who it benefits. Who does the story benefit? And now, who does this story benefit? The story benefits Lisa Rinna.
Yeah.
It doesn't benefit Kathy Hilton. And if Kathy Hilton, in fact, hired someone and less than a week later, they're saying, I was hired to take down Lisa Rinna. I signed an NDA, though. I can't say who it was. You are so sued, like today.
Yeah,
like today he's getting hit with a lawsuit.
If that's how NDAs worked, where you could be so like aloof.
Imagine.
We would have so many people doing that. Like they would be getting their like payment and also still kind of talking about it. Like no one who signs people who sign NDAs, especially with like really rich people like the Hiltons, are afraid to even like mention their name or even like hint at their names because that NDA is ironclad. They have the best lawyers in the world. It's not like me going on Google and like Googling NDA and handing it to someone where they can figure out loopholes to be able to still say things. Like these lawyers are like, they have like a team of lawyers on retainer always that they probably have a stack of those at their door. Like, no, like it's ridiculous. And I'm mad that I feel like Lisa's getting sloppy.
So sloppy. This is embarrassing. This is truly like the fact that, I guess actually, before I talk shit, I was going to talk shit about a pretty big account, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that.
Okay.
The reputable accounts know that this is bullshit, but what was the other account saying about your moms are watching?
They were just really just reiterating the messages and leaving it open-ended. I don't think that they had an actual opinion on if it was real or not. They were just pretty much regurgitating everything that you just said, summing it up. It wasn't any like, oh, I think it happened. They're like, what do you guys think? Leave something in the comments. People are just like latching on to the stories to get some views. I've heard from a couple people that okay, I'm just going to stop. You're like, I just because it's a community and I don't want any smoke from the community. It's a tight community. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Okay. She's getting sloppy though in her old age. This is a mess. Like she's losing it. She's losing her touch. Like I'm embarrassed. Like it's so convoluted, this whole thing, like from the very fucking start of it all. A follower predicted this was all a publicity stunt from the beginning. I mean, it makes sense. Did you? I didn't. I'm so gullible though. I'm never going to spot that stuff because I'm truly the easiest person to prank. I wasn't like convinced that it was a plant. Like I wasn't convinced that she did it necessarily, but I was like also like something didn't feel right about the story because I'm like, you're just sitting here arguing with some random 20-something-year-old and putting his number on the internet. I don't even think you're that dumb to just do that. Like, I was like, you like, Lisa, you've definitely had people in your DMs saying wild shit before, like you've never posted their number. Like, this seemed so well timed to give you something else to do, because she has, like, that's her job. She's always trying to figure out how to stay relevant, how to, like, make sure she gets her diamond next season. Like, I'm not surprised that, like, especially with this new update, like, there's just no fucking way that Kathy Hilton would be that sloppy to pick some rant. It's like he seems like, if Kathy Hilton did that, it seems like some guy who goes into your DMs and is like, hey, I can get if you give me this amount of money, I can increase your followers, like scam artists like
totally.
That. Like that's what the feel, like, no. No way. Like they have scandals all the time. They're so, like, that family has so many scandals. They know they have a fixer. Like, are you kidding?
They have exactly.
They have a fixer.
Stupid.
Like, we didn't know about Paris being sent to a freaking, like, torture camp. Like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, they have fixers. We will not ever, like, they are on a whole different planet than we are. They don't need to call Saul. Gotta call Saul, like, to fix their problems and then to fucking out them later.
This is not
barely a week later.
This is literally the most embarrassing Lisa Rinna plot.
Yeah,
stunt,
the only way I would believe that Kathy Hilton paid that very specific amount is if, like, she just pulled that out of her purse, because that's what she carries. And that's where, she's like, and take this, and honey, take the 72 cents. Like,
she's like, what is this doing in here?
Yeah, like that. She does, like, I could see her carrying that amount in her purse, and she's just like, here you go. Like, that's the only way I would believe that's the sum of money she gave him.
She didn't want the change in there. She's like, I just don't want this in my purse anymore.
Like, here you go.
Oh, get it out of here.
Yeah, that's the only way I would believe that she would pay that sum of money.
I feel like she didn't even know what they were. She's like, and what are these?
Yeah, like, what are these?
Is this money?
What are these coins?
Is this money? Here you
metal.
Go. Like, she saw pennies. She's like, what in the hell is that?
Yeah, like,
she's like, I'll take it.
She just empties her purse on the floor, like, just grab whatever you can.
Yeah. Like, there was, like, random shit too, because we've all seen what's inside her purse.
Yeah, like, that is the only way I could see her spending that random sum of money, is that she just like, this is all I have on me. Like,
and she was paying him for something totally different.
Yeah. She's like, is this how much a coffee costs? I would just like a coffee.
That's a tip.
She has, like, no idea. She's like, is that how much it is?
He brought her coffee, and she's like, here you go, here's a tip. He's like,
yeah, just what is this?
She's like, is that not enough? And then she
just like empties out the purse. Just take it all.
Take whatever.
Yeah.
And she's handing him, like, she's handing him all the weird stuff. Like, do you want a carpet sample?
Yeah, she's just, I could see her just having the most random shit in her purse.
Well, we saw it last season.
Yeah,
she was dumping it out, and Kyle was like, Kathy, what is in here? And she's like, she had just everything. Okay,
yeah,
so
like,
we've established, listeners, that do not believe this bullshit. This is a plant from Lisa Rinna she's diverting attention.
And honestly, it's just, Rinna's to a point where, like, I don't even think she cares that we know that.
No, she's just loving this.
She's loving it. Like, it's a win-win for her that just us even having this conversation is a win for her.
You know what? I'm making a vow right now. I will no longer feed into Lisa Rinna's PR stunts. This is it. This is the last time. I know it's going to be hard, but I refuse to feed into any more. I will talk about what she does in the show, but I'm not going to post about it. Oh, it's going to be so hard.
It's hard though. I mean, I don't put yourself in those parameters. Like, sometimes you might need to.
You're
like,
right.
That's like, don't say things. Don't be
she's
too
good, because she's so good.
Don't worry. It's not, I mean, it's your literal job to, like, keep up with her, like, fucking craziness,
shenanigans.
It sucks because it's just like this vicious cycle. And
because she loves any attention.
Yeah, she's like, she has no shame, which is why she stays on the show so long.
Yeah, she's a cockroach.
Yeah. I'm
Nothing
really hoping
kills her.
Yeah, I'm really hoping next. I saw that picture of Garcelle, Sutton, and Denise Richards, and I'm like, bring Denise back. Like, let's now that like Garcelle and Sutton have positioned themselves in a higher power, like let's bring Denise back and let's see what's up. Let's see what
get
happens.
Real messy.
Let's get messy. Make Rinna really
sweat. Real sweaty and real scared. All right, let's get into the episode.
Okay.
We got that out of the way.
Jeez, okay. That was like a lot. That was an episode itself.
Right?
Like Rinna.
Fucking Rinna. All right. So we are the next morning, Kyle ordering the Bloody Marys from Miguel, the caterer. I was like, God, goals.
I know. I was like, that's so cool. You just like ask somebody for something and they just bring it.
Well, first I heard someone say she was making them Bloody Marys, and then her version of making them was calling Miguel the caterer. I was like, oh,
that is actually something I would do. I'd be like, oh, guys,
totally.
Breakfast, I got this.
Yes.
I can order you anything.
Me too. That's my
love language. I will order you anything.
Garcelle calls Crystal and convinces Crystal to come over, and like Dorit and Kyle are like trying to listen. That was kind of funny. Like they were just like totally eavesdropping. I want Garcelle's delicious looking PJ set. The like matching. It looked so soft and like
it looked nice. It might have been. Was that Skims?
It could have been.
It might have been Skims.
I think Lisa Rinna talked about her robe was Skims.
I've heard. I don't own anything Skims. But I've heard that it is actually good shit.
I have.
I'm not, even though like I know people are like, I don't want to like give to the Kardashians. Like honestly, if their shit's good and good quality, I'm gonna fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Like okay, like it's good shit. Like what am I gonna do?
I'll go there. So let's track that Garcelle has invited, as it convinced Crystal that this is going to be a safe space for her to come over and express herself. So let's remember that marker.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So before that happens, though, we get the conversation. We've already discussed this, but let's go into it again. The flashback. Erika then goes like, I just want to thank you all for letting me be an animal last year. And, it's just so her voice and the way she articulates herself. It's like, it's so like not rehearsed. It's like it's a performance. Like she goes into like a mode of speaking that is,
it's like this like monotone voice. Like she's trying to pass a lie detector test. Like she doesn't want to give too much. You know what I mean? She's trying to keep her heart rate at a level thing. She doesn't want anybody to know her tells. Like she's trying to keep a very like same line of like tone. And that's why she comes off very like cold, because she doesn't have any emotion in her voice ever. It's just so like dry.
And then she's like, then she goes, I've been dragged through the mud for something that I didn't do. And look, I know that she's going to say, she's not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But like, you're blatantly holding on to your treasures at this point when it's been discovered that you've taken the money. You didn't, let's say you had no clue. Okay. You had no idea. Now you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. At this point, now it's like if your world comes crumbling down because you realize it's all a lie,
right? And
all this money you've been receiving is money that's been stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you got to give it back.
Yeah,
that's just a bummer
that she's under this impression, and like, yeah, I'm gonna just for the sake of like moving on, I'm just gonna go with for the moment for this segment that she doesn't know. It's like you said, Emily, she knows now. You can't keep things if it's stolen. Like like, I don't know why she thinks because she didn't steal it and someone else stole it and gave it to her that means she can keep it. That's not how
That's not how it works.
That is not how that works. I'm sorry that it was all a lie. I'm sorry that every possession you have is literally stolen, but it's not yours. It's not yours. You are making money. You're currently making money. You want to know why? Because I'm watching you on TV. You get a paycheck from that. So just use that money. It's a good paycheck. I know it's a good paycheck. You just can't live the way in which you were living before, because it was never real. It was stolen money. And for you to not grasp that is just troubling. Like, you cannot keep other people's stuff.
She's been trying to throw in here and there, like last season, like at the reunion, she was trying to like throw in, like, I do have sympathy for the victims. Like, she tries to throw that in there. And so when Garcelle says, it's just that you didn't show any compassion.
Right.
And she goes into this horrendous accusation that, we don't even know if they were victims that actually didn't get paid. You're like, okay, but wait, so this actually means you didn't ever have compassion then? Because this whole time you've actually been not saying you have sympathy for them because you actually don't even think they're victims. Okay, this is different, because the whole time we've been wondering why you can't say, oh my God, I'm heartbroken for these victims, because it didn't make sense why you couldn't say that. But now it makes sense because you guys are over there building a case
that they're not victims at all.
That they're not victims.
And that they've been paid. And that they've been paid. It's like,
ew.
I'm sorry. The only person that's pushing, well, you know what? Actually, no. I'm actually really happy that Dorit said, so you're saying that they're lying. I'm glad that she said it in those words, because Erika said, yeah, like they could be lying. Like, so when we get to the reunion, I don't want to hear her say, I didn't say that. You did, because Dorit asked a direct question. So like, they could be lying. And you said, yes, they could be lying. So you are saying that there's doubt that these victims are victims at all, that they're essentially could be con artists, scammers trying to get more money or get more than what they were supposed to get, coming for seconds or something. That's disgusting. Again, I think we talked about this last week. So you're mean to tell me there are multiple victims. It's not just one group of people. Like, there's multiple people from over the years that Tom has dealt with that he has been taking from. So you're telling me they all came together, and I think Kyle said this, like, they're just regular people, or was it
Garcelle?
No, Garcelle said that they're just regular people. Like, you think that these regular people from all different parts of the country came together and said, let's take down one of the biggest firms in LA.
So implausible.
And come for Tom Girardi, like they have no law background, and thought they could run a scam to get even more money than they were already awarded. Like, I know I'm repeating myself, but again, if you're a con artist who's going to go after money, this is the dumbest con. It's going to take years, and maybe you get money. Yeah.
You'll just pull another con.
And you would have to like hope that whoever's like representing you to get this money is going to do it pro bono. Yes, because you have to pay lawyers.
And so if they don't do it pro bono, it's going to cost you so much money. So you're losing money in the process. This is the dumbest con in the world.
It would be easier to blackmail.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to con, find a better con. This is not a good con.
This isn't a good con. This isn't a good con. Like
I cannot.
These people, and so they're so delusional. I really just think that if they say stuff, that we'll just believe it, because I feel like in their heads, the people who are watching the show are from like the middle America, who are ignorant and stupid or something. Like, that's their perception of like the Bravo audience. So whatever, they're rich and they're amazing and they're above us. They think that whatever they say will just eat it up. We'll just eat it up. We won't question it because we're stupid. We're stupid people. And I don't like that. Don't fucking assume that I'm stupid. You're stupid because this all seems fucking ridiculous and like outlandish, and it's just not plausible. It doesn't fucking make any sense.
Ugh. I have a follower who's been following me for a while, and he said to me just yesterday, I'm still a fan of Erika's.
Why?
And he said, and he actually had the audacity to say, we still don't know that the victims didn't get paid.
Okay. Well, I guess Erika's correct. There is just one idiot out there that would just believe anything. And I hate to say that.
If you go to her post, she's got tons of fans.
Well, no,
supporters.
I know she does because people
and fellow housewives, always giving her support.
Because all those people are fucking crooks too. That doesn't surprise me. They all crooks. They're all crooks.
It says a lot. It really like changes my opinion on those housewives.
How many lawsuits these motherfuckers have? Like,
I know. It's true. It's true.
I'm not even surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that at all. Like, they disgust me. Like I honestly don't want to see Erika after the season any longer. Like, it's so disgusting to me that people are like, I'm never going to be a fan of someone that hard to excuse disgusting behavior like that, like victims, people who are like, guys, these are not just other 1% people who didn't get money from something, for some other big deal. Like they have all this other money. Like, so like, you know what I mean? It's not like the 1% hurting the 1%. Like it's the 1% hurting like
the everyday us,
the everyday. Not even us. Like these are even people who are going through like the burn victim is like, he is in pain every day. Like, you know what I mean? Not like physically, emotionally, he needs that money for hospital bills. He's always going to have to go to the hospital because of his injuries. So them not paying him, he's like essentially paying out of pocket and going into crippling debt. Like, that's where we're at, guys. Like while she's crying about living in her smaller mansion, there are people who are literally needing this money for hospital bills, for treatments to like live a more comfortable life. Like this is sick that we're even debating this. That is disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm all about having everybody. It's like usually what we're talking about is like light and stuff like that. So when you have different opinions, you have different opinions. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But this is something that I refuse to like. If you entertain and if you guys support someone who is willing to just let people suffer, who are literal victims of like so many different types of accidents, then you're a fucking piece of shit. Sorry, I don't give a fuck.
Say it.
I don't care. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Just set up. And then got Rinna right over here. You can sue for anything. Rinna, are you being sued for things? Rinna couldn't wait to say that. And then Erika loves to go to a place of third person in her confessional. She's like, these people just want Erika to fail. Erika, stop it. Erika, like always. And now, you know, Erika was referred to as Erika Jane. Like she's now going by Erika Jane, which is a made up character. Her name is not actually Erika Jane. This is we're in full. She's fully delusional now. She's fully delusional.
That's the only world she can live in because the reality is she's a fucking scam artist, crook, fucking dumb bitch. Okay.
Then she said, and once again, she loves this line. She loves to say, she's the best way I can serve those who've been rightfully wronged. Because now she needs to let us know that their real victims are actually her and the lawyers. Is to roll up my sleeves and comply. She said, roll up my sleeves at the reunion too. I'm like, what are you rolling up? Roll up your sleeves. What does that even mean? That's such a like old timey phrase referring to what?
Like,
what are you doing?
The only
what
thing
are you doing, bitch?
Like hiding all of this stuff that you don't want to give back, like rolling up your, like, that's the only thing that I think she's doing is just moving shit around and hiding things that she doesn't want to give up, like those damn earrings.
That's her rolling up her sleeve.
Yeah, that's her rolling up the sleeve, just fucking hiding all the shit she doesn't want to, like, they're trying to seize from her. Like,
rolling up my sleeves and hiding all my assets.
Yes, that's exactly what she's doing.
Okay, God. Crystal arrives. Garcelle announces that she is tipsy, and this is what's going to lead to this next problematic part that, you know, we get into. I swear it's because she's buzzed.
I mean,
and they haven't eaten breakfast. I've been there where you're like, you're drinking the Bloody Mary to get rid of a hangover, and it makes you like really buzzed.
Yeah.
And Erika's obviously buzzed too. So in the meantime, though, Diana goes over to Sutton's room. Why is there so much food? There was like, maybe it was for the crew too?
No, I just think Sutton does that. I feel like she's just like, I feel like they just like always over order and like.
But that is like a buffet. That was a spread of.
Rich people don't care about like eating more than they're supposed to. Like, anytime I would watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that's the same type of shit they will have for every day. Every day they have their chefs and stuff like that. Just prepare like,
you're right.
And as if there's
so
going to be like 18 people coming. And the thing is, I do think that they let the crew have whatever, like they don't eat, but like, think about on Housewives of Orange County, freaking Heather with her like $1 million, like I think she spent $20,000 on the sushi, on the Nobu sushi that no one ate,
which we'll never forgive.
Like
that.
It's like but the thing is, the amount of sushi that they had for the amount of people there too is still ridiculous. Even if everyone ate, like no one's eating that much sushi.
Like, did Sutton think that Crystal was going to be there too? Like it was.
I mean, even if Crystal was there, that's still a lot of food.
That much.
That was food for not the whole cast, the whole crew, and everybody at that resort. Like that
honestly. But I like this. I like this. Diana's interesting because she's like a character in a movie. Like when she's like, I used to be so aggressive because she's like, I'm from the Sarajevo ghetto. I'm like, ooh, I see it. She's painting a really interesting picture.
Yeah.
And like, I could just imagine like when she's like, I imagine her like just like slicing someone's throat.
Oh my God.
Piss her off. I'm like, yeah.
I just remembered we still haven't met Will Smith's ex-wife yet.
Right?
Like, it's like, where are we episode 4 now?
Well, she's friend of, so.
Oh, she's just friend of. Okay. Okay. Cause I'm like, when is she coming?
Yeah. Diana gives us a nice little taste of what's to come. She's like, you don't get multiple chances with me. First
I know.
time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. I don't like that.
Oh, I was like, she's setting a boundary. She's like, she's giving you a warning. She's
let us all know what she's about.
I'm here for it.
First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. I don't like that. Her saying I don't like that was chilling. I don't know. It's so simple. I was like, okay.
She meant that.
She doesn't like it, guys. When she says I don't like that, it was scarier than her like threatening my life. Like she basically threatened my life.
Yeah, like Sutton was scared of like Erika's like empty threats. Like Erika's all bark. She's not gonna do shit.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, like she's not gonna fucking do anything. That lady, I would actually watch my back. Like, don't fucking cross that bitch. She will.
I don't like that.
Kill you. She's like, I don't like that, and like, you don't want to know what comes after. I don't like that.
Do you want to know? Mm-mm.
I don't want to know.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know. I trust that it's not good. I trust that.
You won't even know that you're dead before she strikes. She's like a fucking cobra. Yep. Like she's gonna strike fast.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're back to Crystal. So I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again. And I just don't know if Crystal is emotionally able to handle reality TV because she just needs a lot of coddling.
Yeah.
And we don't really have time for it. And that's not to say that it's a bad thing. It's just kind of boring for me to watch.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna come across maybe a little heartless to some people, but I'm just kind of going off of like from an entertainment standpoint. I get that we should honor her feelings, but like the way she was talking in this group, it was a little exhausting.
I felt the same way. I actually thought you were going to be much nicer about it, and I was going to come off as like the cold one, because I'm going to tell you I was with her last episode when she was saying what she said, and I completely followed. It all made sense to me. I was okay with what she said. Let it go now. Like, they aren't going to understand. These are the people that you've chosen to associate yourself with. So you're going to have to know that, like, this is what you're going to be dealing with, or you don't hang out with them anymore. They're not like what she needs from them. They're not capable of giving her. And she also, the way she communicates is very a lot for me. Like, I don't know if I could handle Crystal all the time in her feelings. Like, I'm just like, I am not a person that says the right thing most of the time. And she's going to like fucking cry. And I'm going to be like, and like
the way
the
way she was presenting it, it was like when she started to talk and then she like cried and was like, I don't like getting emotional. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. I found myself rolling my eyes and going, oh my God. And I went, oh no, I'm being insensitive and I don't want to be, I want to like,
that's not being insensitive. It's just some people, like, this is my issue with Crystal. Sometimes I feel like she just like gets upset, and I'm not saying it's not out of like nowhere, but once she's just upset, she wants to live in that upsetness. So they actually, I will have to hand it to them. Dorit and Kyle and all of them, they said, okay, it's been, it was like a little, emotions were high yesterday. So we are going to try today. You have like, the floor. Explain to us again where you're coming from, your thought process. We'll be quiet. Please go.
Yeah.
And I think for her, she doesn't even know why she's like completely mad anymore. So I feel like her default is to cry, because she's like, I think she's like she was like going in there thinking that they were going to just keep arguing back and forth. And she was just going to keep saying like, you don't get it. And when she actually got to completely explain herself, she clammed up and then throws Sutton under the bus. And well, I guess Garcelle led her into that, but
I'm going to disagree. I think that my theory is that she is actually still triggered by the fact they really did gang up on her for her first season. They all did gang up on her and say, violate's not the right word. Don't say violate. And she's like, look, the literal definition is violate is technically what happened. None of you guys are allowing me to have it. And it's frustrating. So fine. I give her that she is kind of carrying that trigger. And they listened to it and let her have that moment. Fine. Okay. They let her have it. They gave it to her. However, unfortunately, when she said this doesn't feel like a safe space emotionally for me, it was kind of shaming to them, like letting them know, like, I just know that this isn't a safe space emotionally for me. And they're like, well, what do we do? And then Dorit says something like, saying something like, I don't feel like I'm in a safe space just because a group of adult women don't agree with you. Sweetheart, this is a vacation compared to what I went through.
Okay, I'm not going to keep going. Like, as I said last week, like I was with Dorit up until that last part. I'm like, we're not going to keep.
Here's my question, though. The lighting switched halfway through that. I'm wondering if they pieced together two different things.
Okay,
because that is possible.
It is possible, and that's something they would do. So, like,
because she could have said saying something like, I don't feel like I'm in a safe space just because a group of adult women don't agree with you is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they could have cut that and said, sweetheart, this is a vacation compared to what I went through from something totally different.
No, I can see that. Like,
and that's fucked up.
I mean, they have the right to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that's fucked up.
It is fucked up. But I was with Dorit and everything she was saying up until that last part. If that is what she said and it wasn't edited, if it was me and like I was edited poorly, I think I would immediately be like, guys, that was that they did that. I would be calling them out every time they do it.
I would be I would be immediately in my social media like, you can see the lighting is totally different. Those are two different moments.
I would definitely be calling them out every time they did it.
It is also possible that they liked her line and they had her just say it again. Like as an audio pickup or something. Like, we need you to say that again. We didn't quite get it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I get that they were hard on Crystal last season, but I do think Crystal uses the choice of words that she uses.
Well, hold on. Let me get to like what happens then that turns it into an explosion. So then they come back from Dorit's thing, and Kyle says, I'm really sorry you didn't feel like I handled it right. I think of myself as a fixer. And Garcelle says, a fixer and a stir. I mean, look, I am here for this read. I just don't like how this is a pet peeve of mine. I don't like how Garcelle laughs after she says something like this, because it's a tease. I don't like when people tease. So like, for example, if I were to do this to you, Pia, if I were to go, well, Pia, you know that you like to flake on people.
Okay. That felt personal.
Sorry, but you've never flaked on me once, so it's not like it's real.
I was like starting to think, I was like, did I do that?
Never once. Sorry, never once. I just didn't want to say you like to stir the pot because that's too on the nose.
Okay.
You've never once flaked on me. We've never once in the history of our friendship ever have you flaked on me. Okay. I think I may have flaked on you even.
No, I mean,
but the laughing after, Garcelle has a tendency to do this, and it comes across as teasy, and it's a little passive aggressive. I wish she would omit that. I wish she would just say fixer and a stir and omit the teasy part. Then she goes into her confessional and does this is my impression of Kyle fixing things, and does the amazing stirring the pot motion. So
I mean, she's not right wrong. After, she is not wrong.
No, she is so accurate.
Kyle's face during that whole, she was so fucking mad.
Pissed.
She was pissed.
Like, no, I'm a fixer.
And the funny thing is, all the other girls were kind of like,
Rinna was like, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
No. Erika just kept staring straight. Erika's like, don't take the bait. Dorit, same thing. Rinna was like, a little bit of both.
Yeah, she was not happy about it. She's like, actually,
Rinna's such a people pleaser that she's like, I'll go with it. But no.
She was like, no, Kyle. She was like, actually, I am though. Like, she was not having it. She was like,
she will never admit that she's a pot stirrer.
She was like, no, I actually am a very good fixer. So I don't even know where this is coming from.
I do fix things. Okay. I do fix things. But then what does Garcelle do? Literally in the very next sentence. I feel like, and I know this is going to be pretty explosive, the conversation last year where you said, tell me you're that girl, I feel like it was a setup. What?
I don't know why she said this. I'm not mad about it, but I'm like, Garcelle, you knew this was going to like fucking.
I think that she was just buzzed because what Kyle said was, can you just promise me this, Crystal? Promise me that you won't keep anything in for a year.
Yeah.
Next time. And so then Garcelle was like, in her little like Bloody Mary buzz, was like, speaking of keeping something in for a year, I've been meaning to talk about this. Wrong time, wrong place. You've convinced Crystal this is a safe space to come and express her feelings. She just had an issue with all three of these women, or at least two of them. And she just cried, expressed herself. And now you're going to bring up a conversation that really wasn't talked about enough last year because we had bigger fish to fry with Erika. Yeah. And you're going to claim that she set Sutton up when she didn't. She did not set Sutton up.
I mean, I feel like she used a wrong set of words. I don't think that
she did.
I don't think she set Crystal set Sutton up, but I do agree. I can understand where Garcelle is coming from in the sense of like, I do feel like Crystal at that point did not like Sutton. So I think that anything, and she had preconceived notions about Sutton. So I think that I do agree with Garcelle. I think that anything that night that Sutton said was going to annoy her, or she was just like waiting for the opportunity to be like, you're that girl. Like, I think that's what she meant more so. Like, she was like waiting for the opportunity for Sutton to say anything. So she could like, cause that's what she thought of Sutton at that time. Cause Crystal really had strong opinions. Both of them did. Sutton and Crystal had strong opinions about each other up until that point, which is again, how I think the whole like violation thing happened. They had such like negative opinions about each other that everything that happened on that trip was just poor timing. You know what I mean? Like, if she was in the same place she was with Sutton now, and Sutton did the same exact thing, I don't think she would have felt violated. You know what I mean? She already had such a bad image of Sutton up until that point. So I think Garcelle
I don't know.
I feel like Garcelle
was
so wrong.
Brutal. That scene, watching it again, is brutal. Sutton starts shutting down the conversation as Kyle's explaining what happened with Garcelle the year prior and the whole charity thing, not paying, and how Kyle was unaware of the stereotype around Black people not paying bills and how she was made aware of it. Garcelle explained it. Crystal was trying to be like, oh yeah, you know, sometimes we're unaware of these sort of stereotypes and how they don't. And literally Sutton interrupts her and is like, no, I'm not doing this. No. And Crystal's like, you're not doing what? She's like, I'm not doing that because you know what? No. And starts cutting her off, not listening to the one woman of color in the group, and is freaked out, I think, because cameras are there. She's worried that she's going to like be involved in a conversation about race, which all you have to do is shut up. And then she goes, and then she's like, you're not going to have a conversation about what? And she goes, why? Because I'm the white woman and I don't know what it's like. I have stereotypes about me too. You don't think that because I'm Southern, I don't get labeled as racist? It's like, oh yeah, poor white woman. Like, she did all the wrong things.
No, I remember Sutton I remember I was disappointed in Sutton during that conversation. Absolutely. But I still feel like I'm more so saying that I understand where Garcelle was coming from, in the sense of like, I think that they just weren't in a good place at that time, and that she was looking for a conversation like that to happen with Sutton. I don't know.
I don't agree. I think this was a messy fucking moment from Garcelle. And I think
it's definitely
really
messy.
Unfair for her to have done this to Crystal when she did it. I do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. I agree that it was messy, and definitely, I still don't really know why we brought it back up. I didn't understand the moment. I didn't understand the moment, but.
And so here's the thing. I get in this one moment, Crystal being like jarred and feeling like she had to say something. However, to say there was a lot more said prior to that was very dark was really a reach. That's why I went immediately back after I was done watching this episode. I went back to watch that scene to refresh my memory, because I was like, how did it lead up? Like, what could they have edited out? Like, what was the flow of the conversation? And it was like Kyle was speaking right before, and it led into Crystal talking, and then Sutton cut her off. So it was like, well, they couldn't have edited out too much that led Crystal to say, tell me you're that girl. Like, the way the conversation flowed, they didn't do Sutton any favors either. Like, they didn't make Sutton look good. It's not like they cut it to make Sutton look like she didn't say much. They made Sutton look pretty bad. So clearly what Crystal was really trying to say was, no fucking way did I set her up. She was making a fool of herself, and I was reacting. Like, I didn't set her up. But instead, she said there was a lot more said prior that was very dark, alluding to a slur was said, or your mind starts going.
I didn't like that either. I don't think that we should have been on the topic at all. So I agree with you. I think that like Garcelle like had a messy moment and brought something up that I don't know if she thought it was going to get to that level, but it did. This is my issue with Crystal, though. I do think she chooses word. I do think that people can call you out for the words that you choose, because I still don't think that violation was the correct word from last year. I I mean, I'm going to not die on that hill. If that's the word you want to use, that's fine. But like, again, when she says violation, when she says there's some more dark stuff, she's making these really like, she's like making these underlying accusations. Like, violation to me sounded sexual last year. Like, if there wasn't footage of what actually happened, we would just be going off of Crystal's interpretation of what happened, which seemed creepy and sexual. And that word violation made sense when you put it in put it in that context. If we didn't have that footage, we would just be going with that. Like, Sutton was creepy and staring at her for a very long time, which unless they chopped it up, it was seconds. It was like, so I agree. I still don't think violation. I also think that we can normalize being like, that is how I felt. I felt violated in the moment. Now that I'm like, I've talked it through with Sutton and I'm like, I've had distance.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to change the word. I think the problem is that Crystal was just like refusing to change the word because she's like, so my word, I can say whatever. Like, but no, like, if you say certain things, it can have it. Like, people could have go around saying that Sutton is was like a peeping Tom or whatever you want to call it, like somebody who was just like very fucking weird. And then again about Sutton, like, I'm sitting here like, did she say the N-word? I need to know. Like, that's what I would be up in there saying. Like, I need to know Sutton said the N-word, because that's not going to fly with me.
Well, because very dark.
Like that's you can't, and I agree with everybody. You cannot just say something like that and not follow up with what it was. I'm sorry, you don't get that luxury. You brought it up. I don't care if it was a slip of the tongue. It's here now. You said it, and now we need to know what it is, because I'm going to need to know if Sutton said some racist shit.
And I get that she was caught off guard. So, not to police her feelings or police how she communicates her feelings, but later there's a way that we'll get to that. Okay, so we're going to leave that there and we will get to that, because this is what I've been wanting to voice note you about for the past few days. So as they're talking, like, even Erika is like, you can't do that. Like, even Erika's got Sutton's back on this. Erika's mouth just open. She's like, whoa. Dorit's like, no. They're all like, you absolutely cannot play dirty like that. And then Garcelle gets a FaceTime from her son. So Garcelle's like lit a match, dropped it in a can of gasoline, and is like, hey, honey, hey, son. And then when they're doing all that, she comes back and she goes, Oliver just got a job with LVP. Mic drop. Like, this woman has done the most this morning.
So many fucking bombs in that morning.
Like, good Lord. She had such a busy morning. She convinces Crystal to come over. She tells Erika that she didn't have enough compassion, and then that leads Erika to admit that she doesn't even think victims are victims.
She did.
She tells Kyle she's a pot stirrer. She tells Crystal she thinks it was a setup last year. Then she drops the bomb that Oliver got a job with LVP, all in one morning. Okay, now we are done with La Quinta. We're back in Beverly Hills, or Encino rather. And I mean, I got to tell you, PK's diet is so gross to me. How he's asking for a Diet Coke and she's like, PK, how many have you had? And he's like, 2. She's like, can we maybe slip a water in there? And he goes, the thing is, I like water less than I like Diet Coke. I'm like, oh God.
Oh, I hate Diet Coke. I hate diet anything.
Oh no, I do like a good Diet Coke. I just don't drink it anymore because it makes me literally feel disgusting every time I drink it, because it's bad for you.
What part of, it's just mentally. Because I was like, so then why do you like it?
Because it gets you high.
Does it? Oh,
yeah, it gets you like, it was great when I was managing, because like I would work, late sometimes, and it's kind of, Diet Coke is like the cocaine of caffeine.
Really?
It hits you hard and you crash real fast. So
I don't know if I've ever had Diet Coke.
A Diet Coke over crushed ice, you drink it real fast, you get like a nice high for about an hour.
What the fuck?
You crash.
Okay, did not know the secret world of Diet Coke. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's the least of our concerns.
He has diabetes. We need to be concerned.
Diabetes.
He has diabetes.
Gross.
I just hear like also like it's just really funny because my boyfriend Sean's commentary, he's not watching, but he hears everything, and he just heard Dorit say the Diet Coke stuff and you have diabetes, and all I just hear from the other room is he's gonna lose his legs. Like I'm just like, thanks for the commentary. He's like, he's gonna lose his legs if he doesn't quit.
Well, he also like, remember when she's been trying to get him to eat better for so long.
Yeah.
And he still refuses. It's been years now. Ugh,
yeah.
Gross. It's such a turnoff. It is kind of sad because her kids come into the room every night, but now the sound of the door opening is like triggering her, which makes sense. But the solution, a trip to Punta Mita.
See, this is okay. I'm really trying here, Emily. I'm trying to go. We decided we're going to like let her have this robbery thing, but it's the shit like that gets me like, get me doubting. Like, oh, I'm so triggered, but you know, it's going to like brighten my day, a fucking trip to
a cast trip.
Like, see, it's when that kind of stuff is coupled with it. Like they're talking about something that's so serious. And then all of a sudden, what's going to make it better? A cast trip. Like, I'm like, is this scripted? Like, this, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my fucking best to go with her narrative. And she's making it hard for me. She's fucking making it hard for me, Emily.
I know.
Trying my best.
Okay. I know. And we'll get to the end. We'll get to the end. And then, okay. Sutton setting up her party. I wanted to slap this woman. The way she was talking to the staff, I was just imagining if I was like the manager having to like facilitate it. She's like, it's really cold in here. Just turn it up. Oh, this has too much juice. We need more vodka. Just really rude and snippy and like just a nightmare to work with, I bet. The heads on the mannequins, too, were very interesting. Her choices for this whole thing. Did you notice when Diana was getting ready? Did you notice her stylist? She looked so familiar. I forgot to look her up. I'm actually going to do that right now.
I don't recall.
RHOBH.
I just remember them talking about how she never goes into stores because of her allergies. And I was
her allergies.
She's like, I don't know, it's the chemicals, I think. I'm like, okay, Diana, you just don't go to stores because you don't have to.
She swells up. I get swelling in my face.
I don't need you to give me excuse, honey. If I had your money, I would be doing the same thing. I wouldn't be caught dead in a fucking store. I hate going to I'm a nobody. And I have no money.
I online shop.
I love online shopping. It's very rare you catch me in a store because I don't like the concept of taking my fucking clothes off in that cramped little room. And and then like I start getting panicked because I feel like I bring too many things in the dressing room because I'm trying to be efficient because I really don't want to be in there long. Yeah. And then all the hangers are falling everywhere. I'm like, I'm triggered by retail stores in general after working at Victoria's Secret for 3 years. I
worked at Victoria's Secret for 1 year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, because you, at the end of the night, you pull out the big diagram and like, guys, Victoria's Secret like is so specific on how their floor is supposed to be reset every night, like down to the specific polka dot panties, like in a certain spot.
Because everything's so small, there's so much inventory.
Yeah. It's a lot of inventory.
It's
everything annoying. And they have standards. Like it's supposed to be, I think, all smalls on the display, but if you don't have, it has to be a certain number. And if you don't have the certain numbers, then you can move to mediums. And like, it's like, and you have like, it's crazy the amount of underwear that look similar because they have different underwear and different like material, the same pattern, but it has to be this material. I'm like, I'm triggered when I get like when people start fucking doing this to your fucking display thing, I like literally start twitching. So yeah, it took me a really long time to go into a retail store after stop working at Victoria's Secret, because I would just get so anxious when I would see people like fucking up displays. I'd be like, someone's gonna have to fucking fix that.
I totally know what you mean. Dorit and Kyle are on their way, and they talk about how Lois had a stroke, and that's very sad. And
it's really sad because we know that she's gonna die soon. So.
But she has a do not resuscitate, do not put me on life support. I would do the same thing. Like once I'm like that, I kind of like that though. It's like we don't need to suffer through it. Like she's lived a full life.
Yeah,
you know, we don't need to
she's
do
ready
any of that stuff. But to find out that Kyle's mom, this is so Kyle's mom, didn't want hospice and made Kim and Kyle do it all.
That's a lot.
That's so fucking selfish. Their mom was such a goddamn handful. I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but like, that's why I don't like hate Kyle, Kim, or Kathy. Like their mom did a number on that.
Oh, Big Kathy, like literally
Big Kathy
was trying to marry them off to the highest bidder.
Oh,
that is why they're so fucked up. And that's why, and that's why their dynamics are the way that they are, because I think that she also pit them against each other in ways of like, you know, they're very competitive with each other.
Yep. Yeah. There was a man though taking pictures over Kyle's fence, which she's assuming is paparazzi, but then it triggers Dorit and she's like, I think someone is casing your house.
I was really annoyed with Kyle for saying that about someone, because it's like, Kyle, okay, we're going with the narrative that this burglary really happened. Why are you even like, it's another fucking Kyleism. Like she's just making it about her. Like, oh my God, someone is taking pictures over my fence. What did you think Dorit was going to do? She's going to be like, if this really happens, like, are they just targeting the cast? Are these people target like, Kyle, like maybe you don't need to read everything that comes at your phone. Like just keep that was something you could have kept to your fucking self. Like, oh, like always gotta fucking say some shit. Like she pisses me off. God damn it, Kyle. Like
that's amazing. I didn't even think of that.
She pisses me off. And she always has that little fucking smirk. Kyle and her fucking, she has her tell when she's being messy is she does this side smirk thing. Like she's just like really enjoying what's happening. And she just like this, like with her mouth. I'm like, that's your tell. Like, I know when you're being fucking messy or like when you're like not being genuine. She's like, and she did that a lot this episode. I was like, when she was like listening to fucking Crystal early on, she was doing that side smirk too. She's like, I don't agree with you, but I'm pretending like I'm listening. Like she does. She was
smirking a lot. You mean down on La Quinta?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was doing that smirk. You're right.
She does not.
She was like, full smirk.
She's like
full smirking. Okay, now we're at Sutton's party. A little bit of tea from when the Zen blonde Lauren went. She said that before Crystal went in, because you know Crystal and Diana showed up together.
Yeah.
Diana goes into the party first. Crystal was actually outside fighting with her producer and like pissed about something. Clearly, she was mad because you know she'd brought up the whole thing with Garcelle. Garcelle brought up the year prior, and you know I think she must have been fighting about that. Like
she's probably like, I'm not.
What am I walking into? Basically,
she's like probably like, I don't want to talk about this at all tonight.
Like we're not doing it. We're not doing it. I did like that she wore a leather skirt in honor of the leather pants from last season. That
is actually hilarious.
Nice touch. I like it. But how about Dory being so mad that there's press and not getting a heads up? She goes, are you that self-absorbed about Sutton? I was like, wasn't it to be expected?
Yeah. Like she's having an event. Of course there's going to be press there. Like she needs press for her event. Like
wouldn't think that had to be, wouldn't she?
The thing is, this is what I'm saying. Like, Dorit, we're not going to be doing this all fucking season. Like I'm not doing this. people are going, like, you're choosing to continue to be with the group. Everyone has to be able to continue to live their lives. So if you cannot handle it, you need to like take a fucking break. Like, sorry.
And like the whole "are you that self-absorbed" part came in her confessional. So like she had time to process it and said it later. I'm like, why is she self-absorbed? I guess they always have step and repeats.
Always. Like, did Kyle not have press at her fucking shit?
From what I saw, it was just Teddy.
Oh,
for Entertainment Tonight. I think that's who she works with.
Okay.
So does that even count?
I don't know. I'm glad Teddy has money coming in.
I don't
I hate her. I just really wish she'd just stop being on my screen, like in any capacity. Like, I don't even watch Entertainment Tonight or whatever the fuck she's on, but I don't want her on there either.
I don't either.
Like,
sorry, my cat is being very needy. All right. So now Kyle gets to do what she always loves. Is pull Sutton aside and go
stir in the pot.
Yeah. And go, so, I don't know. It was kind of weird. Down at my house in La Quinta, Crystal said something kind of weird. And like, here we go. But who joins forces with Kyle?
Garcelle.
I was like two peas in a pod.
I was going to say, bring that up. I think Kyle's only contribution to Housewives is her stirring. But the thing is, Garcelle has been like really like fucking swatting everything that she keeps trying to start, like Kyle's. And so I think Kyle is like, Garcelle's going to continuously keep batting me down. So what do? I'm going to fucking include Garcelle in my shit. That like, she is so like she's pivoting. She's like, only way I can like get some of my shade out is if Garcelle is like doing it with me, because it's like, then people are going to respect it a little more.
That's so funny.
But I feel like that,
right.
I feel like that's what's happening right now. She's like, yeah,
she had to go where Garcelle was flowing it. Otherwise, she was just going to keep getting embarrassed, because Garcelle truly is just knocking it off.
Yeah.
And
like, even think about in the first episode at Harry Hamlin's dinner. The only time that she got to be messy was when Garcelle called them out for like pretending to Sutton and Rinna, when they're making up, being like, you don't love her, blah, da, 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 da. And they're doing the fake hugging and stuff like that. And then Garcelle goes, sits next to Kyle, and they both say, if they say like, and that was, and it was the only time Kyle really got to like say her messiness and her pot stirring. Like, if she had said that by herself, Garcelle would have been like, they're having a moment. Like, but because she included Garcelle in it, she was able to like be catty. So yeah. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that, folks.
Like, I think like Garcelle looked over and saw Kyle talking to Sutton. I mean, Garcelle, at the end of the day, this is a job.
Yeah.
She is a consummate professional. She knows what she's there to do. So I think Kyle also recognizes that. She's like, she knows how to produce. So they are now joining forces, as they kind of should.
Yeah.
And she walks over and does the like, watch your back with your new friend. That's all I'm saying. Sutton is not giving them 1 inch.
Oh, Sutton
she's trolling them. She's like, y'all, I'm not interested. I'm just about positivity and sisterhood.
Yeah,
and like, as demented as she seems in this moment, I think she's purposely trolling them. Like, she's like, I'm going to look insane right now because I don't want to give you guys even an ounce of content on this bullshit.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, I understand Sutton's perspective and what she's doing, and I respect it, because one, this is her fucking event. Okay, so she's not trying to have no drag out blow up here. No, ma'am. And 2, I know Sutton is in her mind like, that was a year ago. I have no idea what my white ass said.
I was really drunk. You could tell she's so drunk in that scene.
Yeah, she's like the thing is, I don't think Sutton said anything that more than what we already saw. Like, totally. The conversation was something that I was like super disappointed in Sutton about, because she was being super dismissive during the conversation last year. However, I don't think that she said anything that where I would be like, fuck you, Sutton. Like, well, where like,
can I say my tea that I sent you?
Wait, Oh, I think I read that when I was at work, and I didn't really get.
Okay, so
it.
I cannot say the source on like exactly how I know, but someone very close to production. I can't say exactly what they do, but very close to production, knows for a fact that there was nothing that was said that was anything worse than what we saw. They saw unedited footage. They know there was nothing worse that was said. I mean, we saw pretty bad stuff. It's not like what we saw was good.
Right. Like she was doing the typical, like,
she pulled out white lady tears.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's exactly. I didn't know if I should say that, but that's what happened.
She pulled out white lady tears. She's like, I don't see color. I'm like, why are you crying?
Yeah, no, she definitely did that. But yeah, I just don't think that I think that she's just she does not want to chance that, because like, I don't think that she thinks that she said anything like crazy, like the N-word, but
she doesn't want to talk about it.
She doesn't want to talk about it. But like, I also think that she is learning, right? Like she doesn't know that if she said something that at that time, like, I don't think she, like, if I think what I'm trying to say is I don't think she is positive that she didn't say something that could be off color, in the sense of like, just like I don't see color, like that's not the worst thing you can say, but it's not good. You know what I mean? So I don't know if she thinks that she said other things that she didn't know at the time and you're not supposed to say. And she's like, I already got reamed out for the I don't see color thing.
Let's face it, she got off easy last year. She's like, let's keep it that way.
Yeah, like she's like, I'm not willing to risk any other fucking like dumbass thing I might have said.
No,
because I was ignorant. And she's like, I know that she brought this up, and typically like I should be mad, but like it's not the hill I'm willing to die on. Just not the hill.
Like, so she becomes like she's like, sisterhood, y'all. And like looks like a pageant girl.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. So Kyle and Garcelle go off to the side. They're like, well, our plan didn't work. She is not taking the bait. And then Crystal comes over and they're like, we were actually just talking about you. And she's
Crystal will take the bait.
And she's like, really, guys? This is where I got very, very annoyed with Crystal. Okay. So what we were talking about before, how she uses a word and then she gets so married to the word.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't possibly make me change a word. It's like, here's what, and I hate to do this because it's like policing how someone should speak, but let me just live in a fake world of how she could have done it that could have still gotten a message across. Okay. Here's what she could have said. She could have said, look, when you accused me of setting her up, it really threw me off, because what happened in that moment was she was saying some super problematic stuff. Granted, she didn't say a slur. She didn't say anything that would be unforgivable. What she said things that were forgivable, clearly, but there were more things that were said that weren't shown. But nothing that would be so terrible that none of us would be able to move on from it. I maybe misspoke when I said it was very dark. I know everyone's like kind of like rummaging around in their heads for what it could be. It wasn't anything like that. It threw me off when you said that, but she said other things as well. Plus what you saw, it was a lot. So I didn't set her up. When I said, oh my God, are you that girl? It wasn't meant to be a setup. So when you accused me of that, I said, well, there was a lot more said that was very dark, because what she was saying to me was dark. Instead of saying that, which would still convey what she was trying to get across, she goes, well, maybe you won't find it offensive, Kyle, but I would, and Garcelle would. Okay, now you're really doubling down.
Yeah. It's, and also it's just like, I'm not the biggest fan of Kyle, but she also is, she's bringing when it was convenient for her, she was bringing Kyle into the mix. Like Kyle was there and Kyle's saying, hey,
I don't remember.
I don't recall that happening. And so then what she does to then negate Kyle's like what she experienced in that moment, she said you were drunk. I don't like that. That's dismissive. So it's like, oh, because like, and then Kyle let it go the first time, but when she did it the second time, Kyle's like, you got to stop that. I wasn't drunk where I can't remember. I just did not hear Sutton say any of the things that you're making it seem like she said. Like, I was present for the conversation. I remember the conversation from beginning to end. And nowhere in that conversation did she say anything more than what we already talked about. So if you're saying that something else happened and I'm telling you I did not hear it, you need to tell us what it is, because I'm confused, because from what the conversation where I was, that did not happen. So, and I think that,
so she keeps saying dark. She keeps saying, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to hone in on this word. It's like, okay, but do you realize what you're doing now? With last year, violate, you used a word technically correct. Fine. By definition.
Right.
You're not using a word technically correct by definition. You're using it subjectively.
Yeah.
Because dark by definition isn't what you're using it as. You're using it subjectively again. Yeah. So now we're left to figure out possibly what it could be. So you are allowed to change the fucking word now, Crystal.
Yeah. Like, I think that she just, and especially because the women were not receptive to her explaining why she felt like them ganging up on her with the word violation. I feel like she's just like, Crystal's like, I'm not giving them this. They're not going to police or tell me to change words. So she's like doubling down, even though I know she knows that was, again, the incorrect word to use. But she's like trying to prove a point. Like, you will not tell me what words to use. And that's fine. But then, like, if it's so dark, then fucking say what it is. Like, that's my whole thing. It's just like, okay, so tell me what the dark thing is. Fine, we're going with dark. What is the dark thing? What is the dark thing? Is it because when you say what the dark thing is, it's not going to feel that dark to everybody?
And is it because you know that you've just done that because you were backed into a corner and you threw something under the bus to protect yourself? Yeah. And now you know that you kind of have to, you don't want to seem like a liar. So you've just got to stay true in this and not back down.
Which is what I felt like. Yeah. And which is what I felt like last year with the whole, when she kept going to every single person and telling them that Sutton did this violation to her and making it seem. And again, I don't think it was, I think that's what she thought happened in her head. I do think that, but like, she did go to every single person and plant a seed that Sutton barged into her room, stared at her, and
her version of that story was really weird.
That was dark.
That was dark.
That was dark. And I, again, want to say, if we did not have that footage, Sutton would still to this day there'd be people like, she probably did that. Yeah. We did not have that footage. If we did not have the footage of Sutton knocking, she did knock. She didn't. I can also easily see that Crystal may have not heard the knock. It was just like, I do think that violation was too harsh of a word. Now that we know that was not Sutton's intention, because she already and she apologized. Like, I just feel like Crystal wasn't willing to like bend, because Sutton did apologize to her and all that, and then like Crystal was just like, this is my word and I don't care. I'm going to continue to use it because it's my word. I'm like, okay, like, but can you see that it's affecting Sutton now though? Like that word, and Sutton was trying to express to you how violation makes her feel like she's a bad person, when she was explained to you that, like, although she's sorry that she startled you or she made you feel uncomfortable, it was never with ill intent. So like, I feel like Crystal just unwilling sometimes to like pivot or change. Like, it doesn't take away how you felt, but like, also, if other people are saying dark makes me feel like she said something racist, I need you to elaborate. Like, you need to do that, because Garcelle, a Black woman here, is being best friends with Sutton, and she needs to know if she needs to cut ties with her. Like,
and now Crystal, this is where I'm like, I just don't know if you're cut out for this, Crystal. because now we're going to carry this for the next however many episodes. And just because you're principled like this, you're going to be standing by it. We're not going to find out what she said because you're not going to tell anybody because it's damaging. And we're going to be fighting about it.
See, that's another word I also don't like. It's going to be damaging. So that means you're also.
By the way, I know for a fact because this person, I can't say what they do, but they've seen unedited footage of it, and they're like, "There's nothing we didn't see that's that much worse."
I know, and it's just like, but the thing is, like Crystal, like it's called slander, as Sutton would like to say. Like what you're doing, like damaging
it's slander.
It's damaging. It's dark. These are all words. Like if it's damaging, that means that she like it's something that could end her career, or like it could like. So what it like you're like the only thing that I can think of is that it's a slur. Like what else could it fucking be?
And she needs to then say it's not a slur. She didn't say like she's not saying any of that.
Yeah, she's not omitting things. Like she's not saying like, guys, I'm still not comfortable saying exactly what it is because I want to bury it and I shouldn't have brought it up. But just to ease your mind, it's not a slur. Because I know that's where you guys are going. It's not that. I don't want to bring it up any further. I made a mistake by bringing it up, but trust me, it's not a slur. It's just let's put it to bed.
That's all. Like I said in my mock version of what she could have done, she could still be conveying that Garcelle saying you set her up was what made her go, whoa, that was really shocking. I did not set her up. Yeah. She was saying some really fucked up stuff. We see it on camera. We saw it in the scene. It threw me off. I was like, she was saying some really dark things. But no, she did not say anything like the N-word.
Yeah. Anything
against Asians, like no slur against Asians, nothing like that. There were even more things than what we saw on camera. But the fact that she's calling it very dark and saying it could be very damaging. What? And then again, and then doubling down even more. You wouldn't find it offensive, Kyle, but I would and Garcelle would. This is so to tell me
if that's where if I was Garcelle, I'd be like, okay, if you're going to use me as a reasoning, then I need to be clued in on that because I don't know if I would have felt that way. So you're already claiming ownership of how I would feel about something that you're refusing to let me know what happened in. So don't use me in this. You don't know what the fuck I would feel offended by.
Oh, it makes me so mad.
Because just because we're all like minorities here doesn't mean that every minority gets offended by the same things. Okay. That's just, I get offended by different things that other minorities get offended by, or by like vice versa. Like we're not all the fucking same. We're all individual people that through our own lived experiences have sensitivities to certain things than other people, or, the latter. But I don't know. And also Crystal and Sutton have I think this is like about to be, if they do this in the third season, it becomes a pattern that they both put their foot in their mouths in the beginning of the season and have to dig themselves out. Like they do this, like they did it last season, both of them, Crystal and Sutton. And then Sutton did it with the whole, at least I don't have the gun to my head, and now Crystal with this whole dark thing. Like they do this, it's starting to become a pattern. So if they do it again in the third season, it's a pattern. Like
you're right. This feels like Groundhog's Day with Crystal.
Yeah, like
this is like we already did this,
and it's always in the same order. Like at first, I'm like, Sutton, I don't know if I can deal with you this season. You're starting to like say some random shit. I'm like, I don't know if I can go with you. And then she fixes it, and then here comes Crystal, and then she just says some shit. I'm like, Chris, God damn it! Like
now we're gonna have to deal with this again.
Both of them need to like take a pause before they like speak, because they both have a tendency to just say stuff and just like, and it's like doesn't match what they mean, but they just fucking say it, and you're like, and then they both double down. They both do it. They both will double down on stuff that are ridiculous. Yeah. Like Sutton was double downing on the whole gun thing for a minute there, and then and then she apologized.
I want to see how this plays out, because it looks like next episode Crystal is doubling down when they go to Mexico. I'm exhausted already. I just don't want this to turn into like,
also,
I want one more episode of it and that's it.
Also, like, I'm sorry, why? I don't think that like going to Mexico would make me feel safer if I was Dorit.
I know.
Like, there's a lot of like shit that happens like with, okay. And it's, again, I'm trying, but like, I just like, can we just say that we needed a cast trip and like not equate it with her needing this for robbery thing? Because it's just like, doesn't make sense to me. That's not
I really wish they would do that actually.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh no, like this, you know, it will help me if I go on a trip without my husband again. And
yeah,
I left alone.
Yeah.
To fend for myself. Like, no. Just say we have to go. We're going on a trip. Like we don't have to like connect it with your fucking robbery. I know we're trying to like fucking milk the shit out of that, but bored with that storyline now.
Everyone comes over and like joins them, and Dorit is really vocal. She's like, "A bitch, stop it, Crystal. Like it's really dirty that you're doing this." And Crystal's like, "I don't care what you guys say. I'm sticking to my word. I know what I feel."
I'd be like,
Crystal.
what is happening?
Sutton is doing her best to keep it cool because this is her event.
Yeah.
But Crystal's going to keep holding on to it. Okay, so we end this episode with Dorit's EMDR session. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little uncomfortable that she's doing all this on camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I know people are saying that it's brave of her to show this on camera because we want people to be real and we want them to show their real lives. But it just doesn't feel right.
Okay. I'm just going to be blunt about it. Fine. Robbery happened. I still think she's using the robbery for a storyline, regardless. I think she's using the shit out of it. It's almost like she's like, great. Like this happened to me. Great. Like storyline. I'm sorry. I kind of feel like they're like almost giddy this happened because it's like they got the insurance money and they got a storyline. Secured my diamond.
It's just
that's how I feel.
It's like
I wouldn't feel this way if they weren't doing it every fucking minute, like connecting things that don't connect. Like, and I mean, again, we don't know if it was edited, but you safe space, not what I'm dealing with. Like, okay, it's starting to get a little gross how we're connecting everything. Okay, this is why people don't fucking believe you, because it's like it seems like you're like literally using your trauma to like be able to like be superior to everyone, like in a weird way. Like, this happened to me, everyone bow down to me, everyone, no one can come at me, shield robbery that happened. Like, no, I'm not. No, everyone needs to. She decided to stay and we are allowed to come for her. Okay,
because like period. the way she ended last season, we were mad at her. Like the way she was at that reunion, she was horrible at the reunion.
She was terrible.
Remember when she was like, Garcelle, I just feel like you do these things to be relevant. And we were like, excuse me? So she had a lot of heat coming at her. And so I don't know, like this, I don't think she's faking it because she's not an actress. So her feelings seem real, but it feels like icky to me.
I mean, honestly, none of it feels real to me. I've decided to go with it. I don't give a fuck. It's like, do you want to fucking scam somebody for some insurance? It's not a white collar crime, in my opinion. I don't care about white collar crimes. Okay. Like, fucking care about this insurance company. I don't care about that. Like, girl, fucking go on, keep scamming. I don't care. Like, so I'm not going to die on this hill. Like, I really don't care. It's just like, I'm not going to like go easy on you. So if that's what you thought, like that's not happening. Fine, you were robbed. Okay. No one was hurt, so I'm not going to feel bad about this. Okay. Okay. I just like, I don't think I believe it. So, and I am trying, and she's making it difficult for me, Emily. I tried.
I know.
Some part of it is not real.
I know. I'm feeling uncomfortable too. We've tried. Okay. We're giving it a really.
I have to be in my truth. I'm not saying I think that it was like they came too early. The robbers. It was not on the correct date, and that's about all I think. I don't think that she was ever really in any imminent danger. Still think it was scary. Like even if someone like I knew someone was gonna like do a fake robbery in my apartment, I would still be fucking freaked out. Like it's still the idea of it. It's still scary. Like I don't believe her.
You guys should see Pia's face. You can see Pia's face. I will be releasing this on YouTube if you want to see the face Pia is making. I just don't
like. I'm trying so hard. It's just like she just says these little comments, and it's not that I think she's an actress or anything like that. I feel like she's overacting, which is why I don't believe it. Like it is so bad that I'm like, because it didn't happen. Sorry.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Whatever. I don't care. Drag me. It's fine. It's my opinion. It's my opinion.
That's my opinion.
Whatever. Well, tell her she's acting weird. Like she's acting.
Yeah, it's
a Mexico trip's gonna really like make me feel safe. Like you don't even feel safe at Kyle's house.
Well, because like look, they always they always have.
There's always some type of fucking like turf war in fucking Mexico. Every fucking goddamn time I'm about to go to Mexico, there's always some goddamn warning about like, hey, there are rival gangs, like some fucking like tourists got fucked up. Like there's always like some shit happening. I mean, I'm not like, I fucking love Mexico and I always have a great time, but I'm just saying, I don't know if that would make me feel like if that just happened to me, like that would be the solution. Like that's going to like really make me like, she's literally triggered at Kyle's house with a room full of people and camera crew and security there. And she's like, Mexico's the thing that's going to really get me out of this. That doesn't fucking make any sense.
And like they always do the fake scene, like the fake scene where they're like, you know, it would be a great idea, a trip. And you're like, okay, guys, can we just like say we're scheduled to go on a cast trip and this is where we're going? Like, do you have to do these like really fake scenes? But why elect Dorit to be the one to do it? It feels sort of tacky to be like, let's tie in Dorit's trauma with the cast trip scene. Like, why couldn't they just be like, let's have Kyle do it. Like, let's have someone else do it. You know what I mean?
I guess Kyle just had the thing at her house in the desert. So she.
Oh, so I don't know. Have Erika do it. Have anyone else do it.
Erika can't do it because she's not supposed to have any money. How's she going on these trips?
I don't know. I just felt tacky as hell.
It did feel tacky.
It felt tacky for production even to be like, you know, let's have Dorit do it because she's scared from the robbery, but this would be a good way to get her out of the house.
Yeah, that's
like she's so traumatized that she has to go to like therapy sessions. Like it just feels strange that, you know, being away from home and away. But I mean, I guess the trauma happened in her home.
I just like don't understand whenever people like do therapy on TV. I'm like, it can't possibly be working. Like
that is always a little weird, but a lot of people do it.
It seems performative. Like, I feel like we're seeing like a reenactment of a session you've had before, like a breakthrough you did privately. And then you're like reenacting it for us. That's what it feels like.
You know whose therapy sessions were my favorite? Jax's. Because the therapists were always like jaw dropped, amazed at how terrible he was.
Jax and Brittany. Did we talk about this?
Jack, not here. The latest tea.
Yeah, like
Inform the listeners in case they missed it. The latest tea.
So I was on the internets and Reality Blur posted an article where they were Stassi she was on a podcast and she didn't name names, but it was very clear who it was. It was Jax and Brittany, but she didn't actually use their names. But it's been confirmed that it is them. For the wedding that they just had, Stassi and Beau had in Rome, they had to cut it down to like 35 people because production was for Bravo was supposed to pay for it before they got fired, and it was supposed to be a part of like the ending of the season, their wedding or whatever, and it going into a new spinoff reality show. But then, of course, they got fired. Pandemic happened. So they were no longer able to afford the 200-person wedding that they were originally planning, but they couldn't get their deposit back. So they still had to have it there. So they cut it down to 35 people. So that's a big difference. So everybody that they invited was like literally their top people in their lives. So Brittany and Jax were one of those people invited. And apparently Jax was in a group text being Jax and being messy that Beau was a part of, that he didn't even remember Beau was a part of, like a golfing group thing or whatever.
So Jax, like it's Jax being so unaware of who's in the group chat.
Yeah. So he was like talking shit, like, I'm not going to their wedding, da 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 da. So at first, Beau and other people were sending, he was also saying it's to other mutual friends of theirs, and people were sending them screenshots of all the stuff that Jax had been saying for like a month before their wedding. So at first, like Stassi and Beau were like kind of waiting for Jax to say something, but it was getting kind of closer to the wedding, and they have other people that they would have loved to get the spot to. So they're like, fuck that. We're going to confront him and say, like, we hear you're talking shit. You're not coming to our wedding. Is this true? Because we need to know. We would love to invite other people if you're not going to come. He said he, of course, like Jax does, denies it, says, I didn't say that, until Beau gives him the screenshots of, he's like, oh, I actually did say that, but I was just joking. Of course, I'm going to come to your wedding. Don't worry, coming. So we're 2 hours away from boarding a flight, Stassi and Beau, when they receive a message from what she names as the female portion of the partnership, which is AKA Brittany, with a like novel, they say, of different excuses that they've already seen in these text messages from a month ago, saying like, sorry, like we can't make it last minute, da 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 da.
2 hours before the flight.
So that's, and anybody who has ever been to a wedding, planned a wedding, been near someone planning a wedding, and everyone that is invited is literally paid for per person. So like when you RSVP, like it's extremely rude to RSVP, yes, and then cancel last minute because people have paid for you already. It's fucking rude, guys. Don't RSVP because you want to come. It's not like, people need to know. So like anybody who does that, like please don't RSVP, and it's not because you want to come. Are you coming or are you not coming? And I'm not a fan of Stassi, okay? But that was fucked up when I, like, because I, like, that's fucked up. It's 35-person wedding. They literally could have they just invited Sheena. Like, Sheena's ass, I bet you Stassi was wishing she had invited Sheena and not Jax, because Sheena's ass would have came through. She would have vlogged. She would have, like,
made some content, all sorts of content.
Gave her a good present. Like, she would have been so fucking happy to be there. And it's like, I also don't really feel bad for Stassi, because it's like, what do you expect? Why are you guys always so good friends with Jax? He's always proven that he is not a good person. So I also, like, that's shame on you for like letting him still be a part of your life. Like, that was stupid. But my hot take from this is, I've been thinking this for years. Brittany is just as fucking bad, guys.
Yes.
She's just as bad. Like, and she proved this to me at their last reunion, the virtual one. Like, she just wouldn't let anybody say anything. And she was like, well, if you guys are really my friend, you wouldn't talk about Jax. Like, no, he's a terrible person.
She did it like all season too. There was some, like, when Jax had sent all those stupid texts to people saying like not to go to someone's pool party, to go to this party, and was being a dick. Katie was complaining about it, and Brittany was like, well, that's my husband, y'all. You can't talk about him. It's like, just because you married him doesn't mean he's no longer Jax. You chose to marry Jax.
Yeah.
Okay. That was your choice. he doesn't stop being Jax, and we're going to still complain about him. He's been our friend longer than he's been your husband. That was your choice, bitch.
And you're the one who told me that her mom was the one who.
Yeah. Her mom drove
her
to Vegas to make sure she met Jax.
Yeah, no, Brittany, I've been thinking about this for a while. She is just as bad as Jax. She and also shame on you, Brittany. You knew that you guys weren't going to come, and you're supposed to be Stassi's friend. You should have told her a long time ago. And then Jax retorted it's not a big deal, guys, because somebody left a comment and asked to some clarity on the subject, and he was like, guys, it's not a big deal. Yeah, we didn't go, but we let them know ahead of time, which is not true according to Stassi. And it was because he kept on changing it. It was first Brittany's mom's friend, family member died, so they had to do something with her, and then it turned into her Brittany's mom's friend, and then I think it turned into not even Brittany's mom anymore. It was a friend's.
So he couldn't get his story straight.
Yeah, he couldn't get his story straight. I think he was saying that the babysitters, which maybe he's referring to her mom, Brittany's mom, as a babysitter, wouldn't be available because there was a death close to her, and then they were supposed to take Cruz, which is why they needed the babysitter in the first place, because Cruz's passport never came, so that's why they needed a babysitter. But then they didn't have a babysitter because. So they're making up all these excuses. And maybe I could buy that if they didn't have receipts from a month ago of Jax talking shit about how they weren't coming. So there's that. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't feel bad for anybody really, but I on the principle of RSVPing, it's rude.
It's rude.
It's fucking rude.
We hate Jax and Brittany.
Yes, we do.
Equally. Honestly, the other thing that annoyed me in that reunion was when Brittany, at one point she got mad at everyone and was turning her head.
Oh yeah, she was so mad.
And Lala was trying to talk to her, and Brittany wouldn't look at her. She kept turning her head. And Lala was like, Brittany, will you look at me? And Brittany was like, I can't even look at you guys. Are we fucking 5 years old?
Yeah, she just kept on
that is
looking.
So childish.
She's like, they're supposed to be my friends, and they're doing this to me. She was like, I'm like, no, bitch.
No, bitch.
You got to play this role of the innocent Kentucky bumpkin, that came to LA, and she's so sweet, and and we bought it for a while there, but after a while, you're like, why is it that you're so attracted to this toxic person? Is it because you're kind of toxic too?
Exactly. You're okay with this? Okay to the point where you're going to have a kid with him? They have a whole kid.
He's cute, but
he's going to be a grown adult one day.
I'm scared for any girl that comes in Cruz's direction.
Or guy.
Or whoever. I don't know. I just feel like Cruz is going to be a little mini Jax, and it's going to be scary.
100%. And proud of it.
I know, it's going to be so scary. I also often think, because I know he fell out with his mom. Jax fell out with his mom. I'm like, has his mom still not met Cruz? It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the one thing I'm like, come on, man. I understand you're upset because she hid that your father was ill, but I feel like
if that's the only reason, then let's find out why. Let's listen, and let's get over it.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like she did it to be mean. I think she did it because maybe the father didn't want them to see him like that. So
it feels like that.
It is
a lot of people do that.
Yeah, a lot of people do. But Jack, it's, I don't know. It just seems sad.
Well, all right. On that note, that's it for us, guys.
Yeah.
Follow Pia on TikTok and Instagram at PiaGetV, PiaGetV. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook.
Do you tweet?
Never. I never do.
Never.
at She Speaks Bravo, and also follow me on YouTube, She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.